The following presentation is best experienced with headphones.
Hello, honored guests. Today we will be cutting through the grounds to make our way to the forest glade. As we walk, I am sure that you will notice...
Ach, watch your step, Nemo. I just planted that plot.
Sorry, Guy. We'll go around. As I was saying, Guy has been hard at work landscaping, and I think it is all looking beautiful. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's all done, but for now... we are here, honored guests, and I leave you with the circle.
Hello, honored guests. I'm glad to see you.
No offense to them, but I would be more excited to see the Grand Master.
Were you not able to find them when you went looking?
No, he had moved on from Delphi, and the Oracle was too exhausted to tell me where he had gone.
Well, I'm sure that he will return soon.
Greetings, everyone. Oh, and hello, honored guests. I've returned at last from my sojourn through the realms. Oh, my. Mr. Forgettable and Ileana, you have returned.
Grand Master, finally! I have many things of great importance to discuss with you.
Not to mention that we can finally start to resolve the issues around here.
Issues? What issues? Well, never mind that for now. I have many questions for you as well, but the flames have been demanding my attention since the moment I arrived.
Yes, I do see the crackle of a story on those flames.
The fire burns bright, with stories ever knowing. Ah, this tale was always one of my favorites.
We have that in common, Grandmaster Emrys. This tale was first published in 1894.
As part of the short story collection by Rudyard Kipling, known as the Jungle Book.
Rikki, Tikki, Tavi.
Oh, the jungle. That sounds exciting, though possibly dangerous. Keep your wits about you, my guests.
Rikki, Tikki, Tavi.
Come up and dance with death.
Eye to eye and head to head.
This shall end when one is dead. Turn for turn and twist for twist.
Ha! The hooded death has missed.
This is the story of the great war that
Rikki, Tikki, Tavi fought.
He fought single-handed through the bathrooms of the big bungalow in Sagauli Cantonment.
Dazi the tailor bird helped him, and Chuchundra the muskrat, who never comes out into the middle of the floor, but always creeps round by the wall, gave him advice, but Rikki Tikki did the real fighting.
And so we begin.
He was a mongoose, rather like a little cat in his fur and his tail.
But quite like a weasel in his head and his habits.
His war cry as he scuttled through the long grass was...
One day, a flood washed him out of the burrow where he lived and carried him, kicking and clucking, down a roadside ditch.
He was lying in the hot sun on the middle of the garden path, very draggled indeed, and the small boy was saying,
Here's a dead mongoose. Let's have a funeral.
His mother said,
No, let's take him in and dry him. Perhaps he isn't really dead.
They took him into the house, and the big man picked him up between his finger and thumb and said,
He's not dead, but half choked. Wrap him in cotton wool and warm him over a little fire, quick.
The family did this, and slowly he opened his eyes and sneezed.
Achoo! Now don't frighten him, and we'll see what he'll do.
It is the hardest thing in the world to frighten a mongoose, because he is eaten up from nose to tail.
With curiosity.
The motto of the mongoose family is...
Run and find out.
And Rikki Tikki was a true mongoose.
He looked at the cotton wool and decided...
This is not good to eat.
So he ran all around the table.
Sat up and put his fur in order.
Scratched himself.
And jumped on the small boy's shoulder. His father said,
"Don't be frightened, Teddy. This is his way of making friends."
Ouch! He's tickling under my chin.
Good gracious, that's a wild creature. I suppose he's so tame because we've been kind to him.
All mongooses are like that. If Teddy doesn't pick him up by the tail or try to put him in a cage, he'll run in and out of the house all day long. Let's give him something to eat.
They gave him a little piece of raw meat. As he ate, he thought,
"This is delicious!"
And when it was finished, he went out and sat in the sunshine and fluffed up his fur and made it dry to the roots.
Then he felt better. He said to himself,
"There are more things to find out about this house than all my family could find in all their lives. I shall certainly stay and find out."
He spent all day roaming over the house.
I nearly drowned myself in the bathtubs, put my nose into the ink on the writing table, and burned it on the end of the big man's cigar.
for he climbed up in the big man's lap to see how writing was done.
At nightfall, I ran into Teddy's nursery to watch how kerosene lamps were lighted. And when Teddy went to bed, I climbed up too.
Teddy's mother and father came in, the last thing, to look at their boy, and Rikki Tikki was awake on the pillow.
I don't like that. He may bite the child.
He'll do no such thing. Teddy's safer with that little beast than if he had a bloodhound to watch him. If a snake came into the nursery now...
Don't say something like that.
Early in the morning, Rikki Tikki came to an early breakfast in the veranda, riding on Teddy's shoulders, and they gave him a banana and some boiled egg.
He sat on all their laps, one after the other, because every well-brought-up mongoose always hopes to be a house mongoose someday.
Then Rikki Tikki went out into the garden to see what was to be seen.
This is a splendid hunting ground.
His tail grew bottle-brushy at the thought of it, and he scuttled up and down the garden,
snuffling here and there till he heard very sorrowful voices in a thorn bush.
It was Darcy, the tailor bird.
What is the matter?
We are very miserable. One of our babies fell out of the nest yesterday, and Nog ate him.
That is very sad. But I am a stranger here. Who is Nog?
Just then there came a low hiss, a horrid cold sound that made Rikki Tikki jump back 2 clear feet.
Then, inch by inch out of the grass, rose up the head and spread hood of Nog.
The big cobra. He looked at Rikki Tikki with the wicked snake's eyes that never changed their expression, and spoke.
Who is Nog? I am Nog. The great god Brahm put his mark upon all our people. When the first cobra spread his hood to keep the sun off of Brahm as he slept. Look and be afraid.
He spread out his hood more than ever, and Rikki Tikki was afraid for a minute. But it's impossible for a mongoose to stay frightened for any length of time.
And he knew that all a grown mongoose's business in life was to fight and eat snakes.
Well, marks or no marks. Do you think it is right for you to eat fledglings out of a nest?
Let us talk. You eat eggs. Why should I not eat birds?
Just then, Darcy called to Rikki.
Behind you! Look! Behind you!
Rikki Tikki knew better than to waste time in staring. He jumped up in the air as high as he could go, and just under him whizzed by the head of Nagaina, Nog's wicked wife. She thought,
Silly little mongoose.
She had crept up behind him as he was talking to make an end of him.
Rikki bit. And he jumped clear of the whisking tail, leaving Nagaina torn and angry.
Wicked, wicked Darcy.
You horrid bird.
Rikki Tikki felt his eyes growing red and hot, but Nog and Nagaina had disappeared into the grass.
I did not care to follow them, for I didn't feel sure that I could manage 2 snakes at once.
So he trotted off to the gravel path near the house and sat down to think.
It was a serious matter for him. The victory over snakes is a matter of quickness of eye.
And quickness of foot.
Snakes blow against mongooses jump. Rikki thought,
I am proud to say I was able to come away from a blow from behind. Oh, there's Teddy. I am ready to be petted.
But just as Teddy was stooping, something wriggled a little in the dust, and a tiny voice said,
"Be careful. I am Death."
It was Karate, the little brown snakeling that lies for choice on the dusty earth.
And their bite is as dangerous as the cobras.
But I am so small that nobody thinks of me, and so I do more harm to people.
Rikki Tikki's eyes grew red again, and he danced up to Karate.
If Rikki Tikki had only known he was doing a much more dangerous thing than fighting Nog.
For Karate is so small and can turn so quickly.
That unless Rikki bit them close to the back of the head, he would get the return stroke on his eye or his lip. But Rikki did not know.
I struck out.
And I jumped sideways.
Teddy shouted to the house.
Oh, look here. Our mongoose is killing a snake.
By the time Teddy's mother and father came up, Karate had lunched out once too far.
And I sprung, jumped on the snake's back, dropped his head far down, and bit as high up on the back as I can get a hold, and rolled away.
Proudly, Rikki left the snake, and he went away for a dust bath, while Teddy's father beat the dead Karate. Rikki thought,
"What is the use of that? I have settled it all."
And then Teddy's mother picked him up from the dust and hugged him, crying.
"Oh, you have saved my Teddy."
And Teddy's father said,
"You are a providence."
Rikki Tikki was rather amused at all the fuss, which, of course, he did not understand.
Rikki was thoroughly enjoying himself, but he remembered
Nog and Nagaina.
And though it was very pleasant to be patted and petted by Teddy's mother and to sit on Teddy's shoulder,
his eyes would get red from time to time, and he would go off into his long war cry of Rikki-tikki-tikki-tikki-tikki-tikki.
Teddy carried him off to bed and insisted,
"Rikki, can you sleep under my chin?"
So the Rikki Tikki took his place and waited for Teddy to fall asleep.
As soon as Teddy was dreaming, Rikki went off for his nightly walk around the house, and in the dark he ran up against Chuchandra, the muskrat, creeping around by the wall.
"Don't kill me, Rikki Tikki, don't kill me."
Do you think a snake killer kills muskrats?
Those who kill snakes get killed by snakes, and how am I to be sure that Nog won't mistake me for you some dark night?
There's not the least danger. But Nog is in the garden, and I know you don't go there.
My cousin, the rat, told me.
Told you what?
Hush! Nog is everywhere, Rikki Tikki. You should have talked to my cousin in the garden.
I didn't. So you must tell me. Quick, Chuchandra, or I'll bite you.
Chuchandra sat down and cried till the tears rolled off his whiskers.
I am a very poor man. I never had spirit enough to run out into the middle of the room. Hush! I mustn't tell you anything. Can't you hear, Rikki Tikki?
Rikki Tikki listened.
I heard a noise as faint as that of a wasp walking on a window pane. The dry scratch of a snake's scales on brickwork.
Oh, what is it?
That's Nog, or Nagaina, and he is crawling into the bathroom sluice. You're right, Chuchandra. I should have talked to your cousin.
He stole off to Teddy's bathroom, but there was nothing there.
And then to Teddy's mother's bathroom. There was a small sluice for water, where he heard Nog and Nagaina whispering together outside in the moonlight.
When the house is emptied of people, he will have to go away, and then the garden will be our own again. Go in quietly, and remember that the big man who killed Karate is the first one to bite. Then come out and tell me, and we will hunt for Rikki Tikki together.
But are you sure that there is anything to be gained by killing the people?
Everything. When there were no people in the bungalow, did we have any mongoose in the garden? So long as the bungalow is empty, we are king and queen of the garden. And remember that as soon as our eggs in the melon patch hatch, as they may tomorrow, our children will need room and quiet.
I had not thought of that. I will go, but there is no need that we should hunt for Rikki Tikki afterward. I will kill the big man and his wife and the child if I can, and come away quietly. Then the bungalow will be empty and Rikki Tikki will go.
Rikki Tikki tingled all over with rage and hatred at this, and then Nog's head came through the sluice, and his 5 feet of cold body followed it.
Angry as he was, Rikki Tikki was very frightened as he saw the size of the big cobra. He thought,
Now, if I kill him here, Naga-Ina will know. And if I fight him on the open floor, the odds are in his favor. What am I to do?
This is good. Now, when Karate was killed, the big man had a stick. He may have that stick still, but when he comes in to bathe in the morning, he will not have a stick. I shall wait here till he comes. Naga-Ina, do you hear me? I shall wait here in the cold till daytime.
There was no answer from outside, so I knew Naga-Ina had gone away.
Nog coiled himself down, and Rikki Tikki stayed still as death.
After an hour, Nog was asleep, and Rikki Tikki looked at his big back, wondering which would be the best place for a good hold.
If I don't break his back on the first jump, he can still fight. And if he fights... Oh, Rikki.
He looked at the thickness of the neck below the hood, but that was too much for him, and the bite near the tail would only make Nog savage.
It must be the head. The head above the hood. And, once I'm there, I must not let go.
Then he jumped.
I bit just above Nag's hood.
Then he was battered to and fro as a rat shaken by a dog.
To and fro on the floor, up and down,
and around in great circles.
But his eyes were red, and he held on to the body, cartwhipped over the floor.
He was dizzy, aching, and felt shaken to pieces when something went off like a thunderclap just behind him.
The big man had been wakened by the noise, and he had fired both barrels of a shotgun into Nog, just behind the hood. Rikki Tikki held on with his eyes shut, and he thought,
Surely, I am dead.
But the big man picked him up and said,
It's the mongoose again, Alice. The little chap has saved our lives now.
Then Teddy's mother came in and saw what was left of Nog and said,
What a brave little one.
Rikki Tikki dragged himself to Teddy's bedroom and slept. When morning came, he was very stiff, but well pleased with his doings.
Now, I have Naga-Ina to settle with, and she will be worse than 5 Nogs. And there's no knowing when the eggs she spoke of will hatch. Goodness, I must go see Darcy.
Without waiting for breakfast, Rikki Tikki ran to the thorn bush, where Darcy was singing a song of triumph at the top of her voice.
The news of Nog's death was all over the garden, for the sweeper had thrown the body on the rubbish heap.
Oh, you stupid tuft of feathers! Is this the time to sing? Where's Naga-Ina?
And I fell into pieces. He will never eat my babies again.
All that's true enough. But where is Naga-Ina?
Naga-Ina came to the bathroom sluice and called for Nog, and Nog came out on the end of a stick. The sweeper picked him up on the end of a stick and threw him upon the rubbish heap. Let us sing about the great red-eyed Rikki Tikki.
You don't know when to do the right thing at the right time.
You're safe enough in your nest up there, but it's war for me down here. Stop singing a minute, Darzy.
La 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 la. For the great, the beautiful Rikki Tikki's sake, I will stop. What is it, O killer of the terrible Nog?
Where is Nagaina for the third time?
On the rubbish heap by the stables, mourning for Nog. Great is Rikki Tikki with the white teeth.
Bother my white teeth. Have you heard where she keeps her eggs?
In the melon bed, on the end nearest the wall, where the sun strikes nearly all day. She hid them there weeks ago.
And you never thought it worthwhile to tell me? The end nearest the wall, you said?
Rikki Tikki, you are not going to eat her eggs.
Not exactly, no, Darzy. If you have a grain of sense, you will fly off to the stables and pretend that your wing is broken. And let Nagaina chase you away to this bush. I must get to the melon bed, and if I went there now, she'd see me.
All right, Rikki, I will help you.
So she flew off from the nest.
She fluttered in front of Nagaina by the rubbish heap and cried out,
Oh, my wing is broken. The boy in the house threw a stone at me and broke it.
Nagaina lifted up her head and hissed.
You warned Rikki Tikki when I would have killed him. Indeed, and truly you've chosen a bad place to be lame in.
And she moved towards Darzy, slipping along over the dust.
The boy broke it with a stone.
Well, it may be some consolation to you when you're dead to know that I shall settle accounts with the boy. My husband lies on the rubbish heap this morning, but before night the boy in the house will lie very still. What is the use of running away? I am sure to catch you, little fool. Look at me.
Rikki Tikki heard them going up the path from the stables, and he raced for the end of the melon patch near the wall.
There, in the one litter above the melons, very cunningly hidden, he found 25 eggs.
I was not a day too soon.
For he could see the baby cobras curled up inside their skin, and he knew that the minute they were hatched, they could each kill a man or a mongoose.
I bit off the tops of the eggs as fast as I could. At last, there were only 3 eggs left, when I heard Darzy screaming.
Rikki Tikki, I led Nagaina toward the house, and she has gone into the veranda and... Oh, come quickly, she means killing!
I smashed 2 eggs, and tumbled backward down the melon bed with the 3rd egg in my mouth, and ran to the veranda.
Teddy and his mother and father were there at an early breakfast, but Rikki Tikki saw that they were not eating anything.
They sat stone still, and their faces were frightened.
Nagaina was coiled up at the matting by Teddy's chair, within easy striking distance of Teddy's bare leg, and she swayed to and fro, singing a song of triumph.
Son of the big man that killed Nog, stay still. I am not ready yet. Wait a little. Keep very still, all you 3. If you move, I strike. And if you do not move, I strike. Oh, foolish people, who killed my Nog?
Teddy's eyes were fixed on his father, and all his father could do was to whisper,
Sit still, Teddy. You mustn't move. Teddy, keep still.
Then Rikki Tikki came up and cried,
Turn around, Nagaina. Turn and fight.
All in good time. I will settle my account with you presently. Look at your friends, Rikki Tikki. They are afraid. They dare not move. And if you come a step nearer, I strike.
Look at your eggs. In the melon bed near the wall. Go and look, Nagaina.
The big snake turned half around and saw the egg on the veranda.
Give it to me.
Rikki Tikki put his paws, one on each side of the egg, and his eyes were blood red.
What's the price for a snake's egg? For a young cobra? For a young king cobra? For the very last of the brood? The ants are eating all the others down by the melon bed.
Nagaina spun clear round, forgetting everything for the sake of the one egg.
Rikki Tikki saw Teddy's father shoot out a big hand, catch Teddy by the shoulder, and drag him across the little table with the teacups, safe and out of reach of Nagaina.
Tricked, tricked, tricked. The boy is safe, and it was I that caught Nag by the hood last night in the bathroom. He threw me to and fro, but he could not shake me off. He was dead before the big man blew him in two. I did it. Rikki Tikki. Come then, Nagaina. Come and fight with me. You shall not be a widow long.
Give me the egg, Rikki Tikki. Give me the last of my eggs, and I will go away and never come back.
Yes, you will go away, and you will never come back, for you will go to the rubbish heap with Nog. Fight, widow. The big man has gone for his gun. Fight.
Rikki Tikki was bounding all around Nagaina, keeping just out of reach of her stroke, his little eyes like hot coals.
Nagaina gathered herself together and flung out at him.
I jumped up and backward.
Again and again she struck. Rikki had forgotten the egg. It lay still on the veranda, and Nagaina came nearer and nearer to it.
Till at last, while Rikki Tikki was drawing breath, she caught it in her mouth, turned to the veranda steps, and flew like an arrow down the path, with Rikki Tikki behind her.
I must catch her.
She headed straight for the long grass by the thorn bush, and as he was running, Rikki Tikki heard Darcy fly off her nest as Nagaina came along, and flapped her wings about Nagaina's head.
Nagaina! Nagaina!
But Nagaina only lowered a hood and went on.
As she plunged into the rat hole where she and Nog used to live, his little white teeth were clenched on her tail, and he went down with her.
It was dark in the hole, and Rikki Tikki never knew when it might open out and give Nagaina room to turn and strike at him.
He held on savagely and stuck out his feet to act as brakes on the dark slope of the hot, moist earth. Then the grass by the mouth of the hole stopped waving, and Darcy said,
It is all over with Rikki Tikki. We must sing his death song. Valiant Rikki Tikki is dead, for Nagaina will surely kill him underground.
But the grass quivered again, and Rikki Tikki, covered in dirt, dragged himself out of the hole leg by leg, licking his whiskers.
Ah, Rikki!
It is all over now. The widow will never come out again.
Rikki Tikki curled himself up in the grass and slept where he was. Slept and slept till it was late in the afternoon, for he had done a hard day's work.
When he woke, he said,
Now, I will go back to the house. Tell everyone, Darcy. Tell the garden that Nagaina is dead.
As Rikki Tikki went up the path, he heard the steady
Ding dong duck. Nog is dead dong. Nagaina is dead. Ding dong tock.
This set all the birds in the garden singing, and the frogs croaking, for Nog and Nagaina used to eat frogs as well as little birds.
When Rikki got to the house, Teddy, Teddy's mother, and Teddy's father came out and almost cried over him.
And that night he ate all that was given him till he could eat no more, and went to bed on Teddy's shoulder, where Teddy's mother saw him when she came in to look late at night.
He saved our lives and Teddy's life.
Just think, he saved all our lives.
Oh, it's you. What are you bothering for? All the Crowbars are dead. And if they weren't, I'm here.
Rikki Tikki had a right to be proud of himself.
But he did not grow too proud, and he kept that garden as a mongoose should keep it.
With tooth
and jump
and spring and bite,
till never a cobra dared show its head inside the walls.
The end.
I didn't see a jungle anywhere in that story. I wonder why it was in the Jungle Book.
Ah, such a thrilling tale of heroism and triumphing over adversity.
I personally enjoyed seeing Darcy find her courage and help Rikki Tikki.
Yes, it is a wonderful story, but we have much more important things to discuss. Starting with why you and Morgana have allowed those without...
No! Even before that, Grandmaster, I must speak with you on an urgent matter, immediately and privately.
This does sound important, but if we are going to take our leave, we should first send our honored guests on their way.
Yes, my friends, I do believe I see the crackle of a story on those flames, but for next time.
The
fire burns low, with stories ever glowing.
Take care, honored guests. We will see you soon.
Honored guests, come follow me, for you mustn't stay at our house for too long. Maybe one day people will say I'm brave like Darcy. It takes a lot to travel between the realms here. Stay close behind my guests, and whatever you do, don't answer any voices you may hear on the way out. Oh, but do come back. Hearing the Circle stories brings me to life.
You have been listening to The House of Branching Paths, a theatrical podcast experience brought to you by Round 2 Productions, created by Mark Kilmer and Caroline Miller, with featured artists Kimmy Kidd, Bill Blanky, April Sita, Justin Panachia-Shimza, Jamie Chandler, George Doerr, Joshua Towers, and Katie Bailey, with music by Elegy. For even more content, join us on our Patreon, or for more stories like these, be sure to visit your local library. Thank you for joining us, honored guests, and remember, the fire may burn low, but the stories are ever glowing.